Hi, this is George Alger. Welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be talking about news media in Ventura County, and our guest expert is George Miller, who is the publisher and co-founder of the Citizens Journal. Welcome, George, and what is the Citizens Journal?
Thank you, George. Citizens Journal is an online news publication that's focused on Ventura County. About 70% of our readers are there, about 20% in LA County. And what differentiates us is we're into the genre of citizen journalism as opposed to traditional media reporting. And you've asked me to comment on what's happening with news media in Ventura County. What's happening in the county is similar to what's happening all over the country. So I'll give you some specifics for the county as well. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, fine. I guess to start with, the news media are very rapidly evolving nationwide, even worldwide, because of economic pressures, technological, and social pressures. Those are the three things driving it right now. What's happening is the print media is under tremendous attack because of the high costs relative to online media for publication, printing, and distribution. And they're also being pressured by the revolution in advertising. What traditionally supported those publications was ads. Those ads are now going to Google and other places, and coupons and online things, and by the stores themselves that are reaching people online, where they had to rely upon the print publications before. And then finally, social pressures that are evolving, such things as citizens journalism and institutions like Nextdoor.com, which is a citizen-driven publication, which is completely different than how newspapers used to work. So in summary, the dinosaur print media are being crushed by the costs, and we're moving in right now. So Citizens Journal is an example of the new media, and it uses the genre of citizens journalism, which is different. So if I had to outline all the different publications, I say first we have print publications, and in Ventura County, the big gorilla obviously is the Ventura County Star, which is heavily under attack right now, and their base is eroding. Then we have the LA Times from the city, which comes in. A lot of people still read that. We have the various Acorn publications in Eastern Ventura County that are dropped on people's driveways, whether they want it or not. And then we have smaller publications like the Ventura County Reporter based in Ventura, the Ventura Breeze, which is a very small family type publication, the Santa Paula Times, the Fillmore Gazette, the Tri-County Century, Vida publication, which is Spanish language, El Diario, and other publications like the Caneo Guardian, which is a recent competitor to the Acorn, which uses the same method that the Acorn does. On the electronic side, go ahead.
Oh, well, in fact, I wanted to just interject here because as we've seen over the last few decades since the inception of the internet, we've seen print media going away. Do you believe that all print media is actually going to go away, or that there will always be some type of print media that's...
There'll always be some. First of all, old people like me are used to holding something in their hands and reading it, although I'm rapidly evolving. But a lot of people just prefer a hard copy. They like to keep it around the house. I think magazines will stay in print, but news, because they're so dynamic and so contemporary, is going to go more and more online to the different services that I'll talk about pretty soon. I think it's basically mostly dead, but not completely. There'll always be a market for some of it, just like people still buy 45 RPM records. They're nostalgic, but not as useful as electronic media.
Now, when you mentioned a few moments ago that I think you're talking about the VC Star, and I think you said under attack, you mean basically all the factors that you're outlining are sort of...
Well, yeah, it cost a fortune to kill thousands of trees and turn them into print media, and then to physically distribute them using fossil-powered vehicles to go all over their area of circulation coverage. We can cover the whole world for pennies on the dollar that they spend to distribute. So we have an innate advantage. They're obviously trying to get into electronic media as well, but they don't have the same native ability to do it as publications like ours that were born and bred that way.
Very good. And of course, the idea of any news media agency or news media outlet supporting itself, sustaining itself, whether it's through physical print or online, I mean, that's still a factor. And I know that as news media organizations have gone away, some have tried to make it online, and it hasn't been economically viable. Can you speak about that?
Well, usually it's not because it's not economically viable, it's because they don't have the skill set required to maintain the online publication and distribution. Distribution is key. getting out, we use 15 different platforms right now to get our publication out to roughly 160,000 readers. It took us a long time to figure out how to do that, and it's shifted quite a bit. For example, we used to get thousands of notifications that went out to our Facebook users or Facebook likes, and now it looks like they're only sending out a couple of hundred. So we're actually getting less activity on Facebook than we were 5 years ago when we had half as many people on it. And that's because it's economically unfeasible for Facebook to send every notification for every post made to every single one of their billion customers worldwide. So they have to cut down just for economical purposes. But then they've also done something called shadow banning, where if they don't like your content, they will lower your propensity for getting notifications. And that's happened to us a lot because we run a lot of really controversial stuff, and we pay a price for it. So that's part of the price of doing business that way.
Very good. Now, I also understand that the need or the desire for local news has still not only sustained itself, but been growing. And yet the idea of being an economical or sustaining yourself as a business hasn't gotten that much better. Can you speak about whether it's just Ventura County or across the country in terms of how local media is supporting itself?
Well, local media is usually ignored because the potential base to read a given article is pretty small relative to a national one. You might get hundreds of thousands of readers for something with a national import, where if you're writing something, let's say a city council meeting in Port Hueneme, it's only like 20,000 people in Port Hueneme. Only a few hundred are really interested in reading that article. Therefore, what is the advertising attraction for an article like that? It's very small. So you have to completely reorder. That's one of the reasons we've gone to a volunteer mode. We simply can't raise enough money to get people to watch a Port Hueneme or an Oxnard City Council meeting. So we try to throw in stuff of general interest, and we try the economics of using a volunteer model, which has worked pretty good so far.
Okay, very good. And we're going to be running out of time in just a couple of minutes here, but and coming back to Ventura County or focusing on Ventura County, we do have all these news media outlets that you've mentioned. Do you feel that the diversity of viewpoints in the county is being well represented through local media?
No, I don't. No, primarily it's an establishment media in the county. And there's only a couple of real exceptions. There's obviously the Latino media is different. It's tailored to the Latino office. That's different than the traditional thing. We're different in that we probably provide more of a traditional look, not so much the more contemporary progressive outlook that you'll see in most of the major media and the smaller imitators.
Okay, very good. So then what is your outlook for the future of either media in general or specifically in Ventura County?
Well, there'll be a shakeout. You're going to see some publications go away or merge out of existence. Some of the volunteer publications, people will decide it's not worth the struggle. A couple have got folded in the last few years. And then also more cooperative ventures. For example, we have a cooperative venture with the Hueneme Voice, where we're allowed to use all that stuff and vice versa. Likewise with the Oxnard Guardian, which is a small Facebook blog-oriented news publication where we have reciprocal rights, and we've attempted to do that with some other publications. Then we also have links to national publications as well, such as the Epoch Times and the Daily Caller, where we were allowed to use their content. And we have numerous columnists as well that provide us information that we could never afford on our own. So we probably have at least 50 regular sources.
Good. All right, so we're just about out of time here. I wonder if you could give your website to the viewers, and do you have a summating message for the viewers?
Yeah, we're on citizensjournal.us on the web. We're on 15 different platforms. And if you go to our website, the About Us section shows all the different platforms and how to get into those. And I guess the message would be, we'd like for you to support independent journalism, which we are. We're a different animal. We're a different genre than most of the other ones. And we're very good for some people. For other people, they prefer to look elsewhere. That's fine too.
Excellent. Thank you very much, George.
Thank you, George.
This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we meet again.